Everybody, welcome to our first ever live stream for Pulse of the Heartland podcast. Only got a few of us on today. You got myself, Uncle Joe, you got Trent up there in South Dakota, and then also Ryan up there in South Dakota. Gonna do a little bit of a NFL preview of this morning, kind of hit some games for this weekend. It's a big divisional round playoff weekend. We know we had our podcast out earlier in the week, but just want to go ahead and get you something a little bit more casual, more fun, joke around a little bit. So anyway, like we always do, we'll start out with what are we sipping on? Trent, you can go first since you always go last.
Well, thank you. I am drinking the Dakota Classic American Lager from Remedy Brewing in Sioux Falls. It's the same beer I was drinking on the podcast that came out on Wednesday.
Hell yeah. Good stuff.
Yes.
Nice. Ryan, how about you, man?
I'm just finishing up a chocolate frap because I'm special like that. But
you're such a white girl.
Got my Uggs on, can't you tell? But to follow up with that afterwards, I've got a Zoa, but from the Rock. Afterwards, so, yep.
Hell yeah.
Him and I lift about the same, and make about the same amount of money, and
same net worth. You have the $31 million T-Rex skull behind you.
Yes. I mean, I live in the area that Sue was found, so may as well say I do.
Joey, what are you drinking?
Joe, what you got?
I am rocking my second rock star of the day. I was planning on having some alcohol, but I got busy with the smoker. And if you guys want to check that out on Instagram and stuff, I put up a couple videos. I did some little smokies on the smoker, highly recommended. And then also did some brats, cut those up, put them in a crock pot for later on. So yeah, should be good. Shit should be good later. Good Lord.
And if you have a heart attack while we're in the middle of this, we know what the cause of it was.
Oh, there's a third one coming. Do not worry.
So you're doing stuff on the smoker and not drinking. Didn't know that was a thing, but
I mean, I started it at 10 a.m. I am an alcoholic and a degenerate. I don't need to broadcast that to everybody.
So I guess I'll be the only one drinking an alcoholic beverage. Okay.
Yep.
I will go grab a Busch Light here in a second.
Too early. I just woke up a couple hours ago. So.
Jeez. So it happens when you live West River. You're in mountain time. So
we're in the good people's time.
Oh Jesus, no! God's country's here, man.
All right. Well.
All right. So NFL weekend. Let's do. We had our picks the other day. I don't know if we need to start there. Maybe we start with some injury updates. I know that stuff is real pertinent in the last minute.
Yep.
I saw that Bosa is back, so that's good. But as for tomorrow, they did rule out Wirfs and the center for the Bucks. So that's going to suck for Tom.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's just go with the first game of the day. The Titans, Derrick Henry coming back.
Correct.
He is not on a pitch count or anything. So my 200 yards bold prediction, it's perfectly possible.
Yeah.
I did see a thing it's pretty true what it said. It was coming into this, not playing since week 8, he's going to be a lot more healthy than if he were to play the rest of the year and a lot more fresh, whereas getting beat up every week and only having 1 week off. So he could be closer to 100% than we think after not playing for so long.
Other than having a new metal plate in his foot and a metal plate in his shoe, yeah, he's pretty much fresh.
Well,
they say 5 screws in his foot or something like that. So
yeah.
But I mean, he's a tough guy. It won't matter.
It's not 6 screws, so it's fine. It's only 5.
Was Aaron Rodgers like 13 screws in his collarbone or whatever?
Well, his pinky toe is going to fall off, so
could happen. Hey, how's your Zoa over there?
It's actually really good.
Zoa?
This a super berry flavor. It's actually probably a favorite one I've had.
I've never.
Is it sugar-free?
Yes, it's a sugar-free. Okay. It's the Rock, so it's obviously going to be a healthy energy drink.
Yeah. Is it keto? Is that what you're asking, Joey?
15 total calories, Joey.
Perfect. There's 0 in my Rockstar. Or no, there's 20 calories. My bad.
There's 0 in this Dakota
class.
Classic.
But you aren't helping The Rock with his net worth go up, so you should feel bad.
No, I am not. I think Nickelback owns Rockstar. I know they put that song out.
Jeez.
I didn't even pick out an artist for this week or this thing. I need to do that.
Oh my.
So with Cincinnati, with Derrick Henry coming back, I'm still saying we had them. I think we had them at +4 when we did the podcast. I am sticking to the +4 easily.
Yeah, that line has not moved. It is still +4. The over under is 48.5.
I should have actually just taken Cincinnati with the money line, but
yeah. Oh yeah, did you go put your bets in?
I sure did.
Nice. And
Right there.
oh, there we go.
I have only $5. I'm not a very high bidder, but yeah, I said I would take it, and that's what I'm doing.
Standing behind those bets. Very nice. I didn't make it to Larchwood, so I haven't bet on any of these games.
So it's nice because I went up to there's two places that I kind of go, either Mountain Grand or Cadillac Jacks. And Mountain Grand finally has their kiosks back working. I hate betting within people. With in person. I hate doing that. So I just used the kiosks, and the kiosks are back up. So I went back there again today.
You mean you don't like putting in a bet with an actual person like behind the till? Oh, okay, I see.
Yes, that's what I meant.
You don't like human interaction.
Exactly. I have enough throughout the week. I figured, hey, if I'm going to go spend money, I don't need somebody judging me what I'm spending my money on.
This guy's an idiot betting this.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yep, I put my money where my mouth is. All $5 of it.
Very good. I'm looking up Cincinnati. I don't think they have anything real, I don't know, important on the injury list here. So nothing really for them in this first game. Just I guess Derrick Henry would be the only notable.
Brown and Jones are both healthy too for going into this game. So
yep.
But there's something about Cincinnati. They just have an energy that Burrow, I mean, he's ready to smoke another cigar and chase. And yeah, I just think Cincinnati's just got an energy that Tennessee can't match at this point.
I took Cincinnati as well in this game. Joey, did you take Tennessee?
No.
You took Cincy in this one.
I did. As much as I love Derrick Henry, I definitely took Cincinnati, more so just to piss Bryant off than anything. But I do think Cincinnati's going to win. They feel very confident and star-studded at the moment. I just don't know if Tennessee has anyone to shut down Jamar Chase, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is he's really came on strong here.
They might have the best trio of receivers in the NFL.
Do you think Jamar Chase goes over 100 yards again today?
I don't.
No,
I think so. He had a huge game last playoff game.
Hell yes.
I feel like Burrow kind of says, okay, I'm going to give you 100 some yards or 200 some yards. I'm going to give you. He is really good at having a different receiver each week just go off. And Chase was last week. I don't know if he'll be this week. But.
So forgot to mention this to everybody earlier, but I just posted our YouTube link onto Twitter, and we are also live on Twitter at the moment. So hell yes. Follow us on there. Follow us on Instagram like we always do, at Heartland Pulse. Show your friends. And if you want, throw some hashtags in on the comments and stuff and get us some more follows if you would, please.
And don't mind Trent's pixelated face right now.
No.
What's wrong? Bad quality over here?
Oh, all right.
This is awesome. It keeps up exactly live with us on Twitter. All I had to do was post a link. Hell yes. That's good to know for later.
So we're in
bear with
agreement
us, everybody.
That Cincinnati's going to kick some butt then.
Yes.
Was I the only one with a bold bet for this game? Mine was Derrick Henry 200 plus yards, and then they're still going to lose by 14 points.
That's right.
Yep.
Actually, yes. I kind of want to decline that and say they're going to lose by double-digit points, so 10 or worse, because 14 seems like a lot, but I still say 200 yards and losing by double-digit points. I just don't think I don't know. There's something about Tennessee. They haven't looked fantastic, so.
Yeah, but they've looked steady. They look steady enough to be the 1 seed. I don't know. I agree with you. I think that Cincinnati's going to win, but Derrick Henry coming back is amazing for Tennessee, and I just don't know if that's going to give them a boost to go over, or it will throw off everything from them not playing with each other for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, or whatever. So it'll be good to see, or interesting anyway.
All right, so then the next game today, that would be San Francisco and Green Bay.
Jimmy G does not have a shoulder injury, so that's good.
Yeah, I saw he was a full participant in practice the other day, so sounds like he's good to go. We're not going to see Trey Lance.
Right.
And Bosa will be there, though.
Yep, Bosa will be back.
Sounds like Green Bay is going to be getting a few people back, too.
Hell yeah. I don't know why I said hell yeah, but I picked San Francisco, so
I have Green Bay in this one.
What have we got? We got Bosa's back. Valdez-Scantling, he's doubtful, but Bakhtiari, he's kind of a game time decision. Jairi Alexander is also a game time decision, but they've been out for a long time. Even if Bakhtiari can only play limited snaps, that's still kind of a huge comeback for them, getting a little bit stronger line. I did see video of the field today at Lambeau. It looks cold and snowy, so I think it's gonna be a running game.
12 degrees kickoff, I think, is what I saw. And Miji has never started a game or played in a game under 32 degrees.
Who hasn't?
So, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, well, remember though, back when they made it to the Super Bowl, he didn't throw. Like that wasn't what got San Francisco there. And I think they're just going to run it again. They have a great running game, and especially with Deebo Samuel. Plus, he's wearing Tiger Woods stuff, so they're obviously going to win.
I saw he had that red Tiger Woods shirt under his pants the other day.
Yeah, you get that Sunday red going. He's obviously going to win. So,
well, hopefully, it works on Saturday. So I have a bold prediction in this one. I have Allen Lazard 2 touchdowns. I went full on Iowa State homer on this one.
I also have a bold prediction on this one, and I went full on Iowa homer and have George Kittle with 2 touchdowns and 100 yards.
I didn't go that much homer. I can still have under 100 yards to get mine right.
With how many blocks does Kittle have?
Yeah, how many pancake blocks is he going to have?
Well, according to what I said on the Funcast, 700.
700, so. Yes. Like I said, it is hard to get 2 touchdowns when you're pass blocking. So,
yeah, not when you're America's best tight end. I know.
No Chiefs fans here to.
I don't see Tyler Conklin in this game. What the
heck? Other notes from this game. I just saw something on here. Did you see that Aaron Rodgers dropped the F-bomb the other day on in an interview?
It was on NFL Network.
That guy, I tell you what are they going to
do? He's too used to being on Pat McAfee's show where he can say whatever the hell he wants, and then he gets on NFL Network and drops an F-bomb.
It's just the stupidest stuff with him. I mean, as a Vikings fan, I can't stand looking at him, but oh no, he cussed. Too bad. And then Kay Adams says that Pat McAfee ruins interviewing him, and like everyone's just like, oh my gosh, Pat McAfee is just terrible, and like it's out of context. It's just stupid.
Yeah, being a Vikings fan, I shouldn't like him, but I do just because of the whole Pat McAfee thing. I think that's really shown who Aaron Rodgers really is, whereas the media says he's this terrible person, and and I don't know if that's fact. I mean, he seems like a fun dude to sit down and just have a conversation and a beer with, according to Pat McAfee's interviews with him.
I would agree with that, and as we've seen with Jackson Mahomes, sometimes getting rid of your family may not be the worst thing on the
planet. Again, no Chiefs fans here to defend that.
It's a little nice. I mean, I can sit here and say Joe Burrow is the best quarterback on the planet. I'm not going to get anything thrown at my screen.
Even though I'm sitting here with a Chiefs hoodie on, but
yeah, but your wife's a Chiefs fan.
That's neither here nor there. And I live down there, so they're my AFC team, but I'm not going to go too crazy, on you like Bryant would be right now.
Yeah. The refs are going to ruin this
The Packers are a 5.5 point favorite. What do you think about that? You think they cover? Think it's too much, too little?
I have San Francisco winning outright. So
Joey.
Plus 5.5, San Francisco.
Oh, you're saying San Fran covers. Okay.
Yep. What do you think, Trent? You're the one that picked Green Bay.
Well, my Allen Lazard 2 touchdowns. I think Green Bay covers that 5.5.
Okay. That is the largest spread of the weekend.
Yeah.
Green Bay over San Fran. And weirdly enough, that's the one I've seen the most media coverage on of, this could be a huge upset. So kind of weird, but whatever.
So I actually did a teaser for today's game too. And that's the nice thing that I like about Mountain Grand is you can do this kind of stuff. I've got Cincinnati Bengals at plus 10 and the San Francisco 49ers at plus 11.5 to, I believe, is plus or minus 110 was to get both of those odds. So. Yeah.
Easy money. Ryan's just printing money with his bets.
Easy money.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to grab a beer. I'll be right back. If I stop the camera, will this just stop me? Or you guys?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
I'm still here.
We can hear you.
Good.
Joey, you need to have some pants on.
Yeah. He was watching a really good defensive game, so Joey took his pants off. So he had to stop the camera.
Yeah. So then we can go to start tomorrow's games. What's the first game there, Trent?
LA at Tampa Bay. Let's see. Tampa Bay is a 2.5 point favorite. The over under is 47.5. I have obviously the Rams because I picked them to get to the Super Bowl when we started the podcast. So in October, and I got to keep rolling with them because my other team didn't even make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. So what was weird is when I went and put that bet up today, I took the Buccaneers because I'm one that will never bet against Tom Brady, and for -3 they were at plus 110. So I mean, usually you don't have a plus odds for a favorite like that. So like that. I mean, what else? What really needs to be said? You're playing Tom Brady in the playoffs. He has more wins than all these other quarterbacks combined, basically. I mean, other than maybe Rodgers, but he's just too good to bet against.
So they were a plus 110 money line being a favorite like that?
Yeah, at -3, I got them at plus 110. So
I'm looking at MGM right now, and they're a 2.5 point favorite, and it's minus 145.
Really? No,
that's crazy.
Nope. I got them at plus money. So I'm even if it was the Rams at like +3 at plus 110, I probably would have just taken that just because it's plus money.
Yeah. What do you even do
on a spread too? I mean, I can see it for a money line, but well, even with Tampa, I would never see them as a money line plus. So,
Joey, what are you drinking now?
So I bought this a couple weeks ago. It's not keto whatsoever, but I figured might as well celebrate our first live stream ever. This is King Sue. It's a double IPA out of Toppling Goliath in Decorah. So
all right. And the Sioux in that is
your nose sticking up there.
What's that?
There's River. And the Sioux that Ryan mentioned earlier is that T-Rex
over in the museum in Chicago too.
What is it? The most complete T-Rex skeleton ever found, and it was somewhere out kind of by the hills, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's by the wall actually. Hey, so am I the only one that can see Am I the only one that can see the comments on here? We got Tennessee Traveler listening along and commenting with us, and
I can't see. Maybe.
Yep. And
there we go.
They're asking for us to restate our picks and predictions for them. So,
all right. Okay.
Gladly do it. The first game, what was the first? Oh, the first game was Bengals and
Tennessee.
Titans. And I had the Bengals at +4 myself.
Well, Tennessee Traveler. Sorry, I also have Cincinnati, but sorry. I'm guessing you're a Titans fan with a name like that.
Yeah, we all kind of jumped on the Cincinnati bandwagon, other than the two Chiefs fans that aren't on with us. But yeah, I also took Cincinnati, and then in the next game, I have San Francisco.
Yes, I also had San Francisco at +5.5.
If Tennessee Traveler is a Titans fan, and he doesn't listen to the podcast, and I picked the Bengals, he should feel pretty safe with the Titans winning this game.
Yeah, so we have a podcast too with 5 of us, and Trent I think went like 0-12 or something like that. So
Come on.
He says he's actually from or I guess I shouldn't looks like that's the guy. He says he's from the Philippines actually. So
cool.
Yep. So thank you for listening along with us.
Yeah, appreciate it. We're just 5 doofuses trying to have fun.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
It may not make any sense, but we're doing it. So. And then the Tampa Bay and Rams game, I have Tampa at -3.
I have Los Angeles because I have them as my Super Bowl pick.
Whoop whoop. Same here. And I also think that the Bucks are in for a world of hurt with that Rams defensive line and missing their starting right tackle and center. Starting right tackle is from University of Iowa, Tristan Wirfs.
I had the Buccaneers as my Super Bowl pick too.
We didn't go back over the San Francisco and Green Bay game.
I had San Francisco at +5.5.
I have Green Bay.
I got San Francisco.
All right. Anything else from the Rams Bucks game?
Nope. Like I said, I'm not betting against Tom Brady, and that's why I have him predicted in the Super Bowl this season again.
So that game's over. Go ahead, Joey.
I would say I'm just really concerned about the that offensive line for the Buccaneers. Like I just said, I think that Rams defensive line is good anyway. With them missing two, I think that's going to create all kinds of chaos for the Buccaneers in that backfield.
The over-under on that game is 47.5. What do you think about that? That is, well, it's the lowest over-under of the weekend.
It's in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is stupid to me because both teams looked on fire last week on offense. So I don't know why that's so low.
Yeah, I think, well, maybe it's because of the offensive line trouble with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, but I'd still think that the Rams would put up enough points to carry that over at least to 50. But
well, whatever. The Rams are going to the Super Bowl, so they might put up the 47.5 by themselves.
Right.
You're wrong. you're just wrong.
Thanks.
Excuse me.
COVID Joe over there.
Yeah.
COVID Sioux. So when you said home of Sioux earlier, I thought you just meant Sioux Indians. I did not know you meant like
an actual
SUE, not SIOUX.
Yeah, like an actual dinosaur, man. We got mammoths, we got dinosaurs. We're just big time here in South Dakota.
Yep, motorcycles. Stuff on sides of mountains.
As you can tell with my reaction, I'm just so happy about motorcycles here.
Yeah, but what's Missouri got? Junk cars in front yards.
Basically,
Branson has some pretty awesome flea markets.
Yeah.
You can talk all the shit you want about Missouri, Trent. I have no. I'm just here.
All right. So last game is we're missing our 2 resident Kansas City fans.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs and Bills. Chiefs favored by 2, I think.
It is 1.5 Chiefs.
1.5 now.
Yeah, that line is moved.
I wonder why.
Quite a bit. I don't know. Vegas knows, man. I'll always say it. Vegas knows.
So
they,
I mean,
they know
and then
something.
if you do the 3 points home field advantage, honestly, the Bills are favored between the two. Then,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was in a neutral site, then they're favored. So
Right.
So
Yeah.
this game,
Kansas City. Go ahead.
this game over under is 54.5. This is the biggest over under of the week. Was it Clark's bold prediction on this one?
yeah,
They go over 60.
Yeah. Yeah, he did take 60. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the Bills should be winning this, and that also there's just going to be fireworks in this game. I can't wait for it.
Or lack thereof, depending on how many touchdowns the Chiefs score again, like last week.
Yeah. But the Bills have that offense that can put up or stay with them. So, I mean, if the Bills are on, they're just as deadly as anybody.
Yeah,
And
Josh Allen can play just as good as Mahomes. Mahomes is phenomenal, but Josh Allen can put up as much as anybody.
Right.
They had the perfect game last week. No punts, no field goals, all touchdowns.
Yep. And I mean, for a while there, Kansas City looked pretty terrible against a bad Pittsburgh team.
Mm-hmm. You keep saying this bad Pittsburgh team. I mean,
they're not that good. They're not.
I don't think they're awful.
Again,
but they're not that good. They're not
Ryan,
awful, but they're not that good.
Ryan and I can say this as Vikings fans: we beat Pittsburgh, therefore Pittsburgh ain't good.
Yeah, they're terrible. Same thing with the Packers. The Packers lost. I don't care what their record is; they lost to the Vikings. So. No.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then the Falcons beat nobody good. Never mind.
They didn't beat Tampa, did they?
They did not. Yeah.
No. But after last year, with the disappointment the Bills had losing in the playoffs, and you see Stephon Diggs staying there, just being disappointed and all that, I think it's a totally different game this year. I just don't see them having that same result. They felt disappointment. They're going to do whatever they can to win, whether it's scoring 80 points or kicking somebody in the nuts. It doesn't matter. They'll figure out a way.
I saw the picture this morning of Stephon Diggs from the game last year, standing on the field by himself, watching.
We got a resident Chiefs fan commenting now.
Oh, Brian can't be on this with us, but
he doesn't want to be on here, but he'll stay here.
He can comment. Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
So, yeah. Like I was saying, I saw the picture of Stephon Diggs from last year's AFC Championship game, standing on the field by himself, watching the Chiefs, their celebration, and he said he's not going to let that happen again.
And I mean, as a Vikings fan, I've got very mixed emotions about Diggs, which a lot of the stuff he said is now kind of coming out as being true. Yep, Tennessee Travelers, right? They're going to win. I just Diggs, I mean, he's Minneapolis Miracle. He knows how to win big games and then flop the next game, but still, he knows how to win huge games, and I think they're going to win.
Diggs had nothing to do with that. That was 100% Case Keenum.
Remember how much Zim hated Case Keenum? Just absolutely hated him. Like but he had big balls, so
Right.
Remember how much we're not going to have to put up with Zimmer anymore? Yeah, that feels pretty good.
Now we got Iowa that we can make fun of for having a coach that stays for too long.
You could have done that 20 years ago when Kirk
signed
his first extension.
Took the Bills money line over there.
Bills money line.
Put my money where my mouth is.
Awesome. So, if you want to, wow, that is kind of crazy. Since we've already went over all four of the game, I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. If anyone else says anything else for that last game,
go ahead.
Okay. So we can go over some kind of fun bets that they got going on here. For the weekend, most passing yards. Who would you think has the highest odds to have the most passing yards this weekend?
Aaron Rodgers.
Josh Allen.
No. Rodgers is third. Allen is 1, 2, 3. Allen is sixth. Man. Tom Brady, who's also missing Chris Godwin.
I figured the obvious pick would be Mahomes. That's where I thought you were going with this.
I did too. He's second behind Brady. Brady is a plus 375, and Mahomes is plus 425. Like, there's no fucking way I would have picked that.
I appreciate Bryant's honesty in the chat.
Okay. Homer Bryant. Very good.
Yeah,
Good
he
for
left
him.
the whole part out.
Yeah.
He's come so far.
From episode 1 to episode 23.
But the refs are going to screw them over, so that's how it's going to work.
That's right. Good thing he wasn't watching when we talked about the Bengals.
About how Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the NFL.
It's yeah, I mean, we agreed 100%, all three of us.
Yep.
So the majority. We speak for Bryant too.
I think you're now just trying to coax him to come on and get pissed at us.
I think he should join us. I mean, if he can be on here talking to us on the chat, why can't he have a camera
on? Send an invite out to him.
Come on.
That's strange that Brady is. That's strange that Brady is listed as highest pass yards. Though I'd go under that.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to me. Most receiving yards. Who do you think? I mean, the first two are probably
Chase,
Devontae Adams, and Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill.
I think you guys are forgetting who the leading receiver in the NFL was this year.
Cup, Cup.
Yeah. Cup, Adams, Chase, Diggs, AJ Brown, Travis Kelce. How did they forget George Kittle?
Tyreek Hill. Because George Kittle's pass blocking, Joey.
Still going to have over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
The best tight end in the league that pass blocks, George Kittle.
I don't see George Kittle on this list. Oh my God.
I wonder why.
One catch ain't going to get
Is Kelce on there though too?
Yeah, Kelce is the 6th. George Kittle is plus 2,500. He's the same as Odell Beckham and Tyler Boyd. So, I mean, for a second I was like, wait, there's no way Mercedes Lewis is on this list and George Kittle isn't. And then rushing, I'm assuming you can pick the first one.
Henry.
Yep. And then from there, Elijah Mitchell, Joe Mixon, and Devin Singletary.
That's crazy though. Derrick Henry's number 1, and he hasn't played since week 8.
Mm-hmm. So even more so, he's plus 125. Like, Vegas thinks he's a lock to have the most yards, which
they must have agreed with me when I said that he's fresh.
Mm-hmm. And Cincinnati's defensive line isn't the greatest anyway, so that makes sense.
They agreed with my 200 yards, Trent. Jeez.
But lose by 14.
Yeah. Well, now I lowered it to double digits, so 10 or 10.
For highest scoring team, they've got the Chiefs, then the Packers, then the Titans, and the Bills.
That makes no sense though. When you have the spread between the Chiefs and the Bills are only 1.5, and then you have them as the 4th after the Chiefs, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
They think Tom Brady's going to have the most passing yards this weekend, and he's not even in the top 5 scoring teams for the weekend. That seems weird.
Oh, there you go, Tennessee Traveler. I said 200, but 150 plus is not unreasonable for sure. All right,
150 ain't gonna get your bold prediction done though either.
No, that's what's got to be 200. All right, Brian says to send an invite over to him, so it's coming.
Oh shit!
All right, we just need the missing link, the lumberjack now.
I haven't heard from him at all.
I don't know. Must be busy.
All right, Brian. Can't wait to hear what he has to say here.
I knew we'd coax him on. This is awesome. So I know we talked about doing one of these later tonight for the UFC stuff. This is way too complicated. I'm not going to be sober enough to do that later on. So once we get this streamlined and figured out, I would like to do that. But, man, that's not going to happen. Let's see what else we got on here. We got to keep content rolling. Highest scoring game. We've got Bills, Chiefs, Rams, Bucks, Niners, Packers, then Bengals, Titans as the lowest scoring. That's what I was getting at, Tennessee Traveler. That's why I don't know if they should, if the Bucks can put up 35.
If they're all healthy, the Titans. I mean, if they're all healthy though, who knows? Maybe playoff Julio will come out.
It's weird that they have the Bengals and Titans as the lowest scoring game, but their over under is the second highest for the weekend.
All right, Andy Reid. Hey, Andy Reid.
Oh, Bryant.
I had to make sure I had to put on my Chiefs sweatshirt as well. You can't see it because I have a shit camera, but no, what? So we're all talking about how the Chiefs are going to win by like 42, right?
I got you, Bryant, right here. I'm representing your Chiefs.
I wasn't ducking out. I simply wanted to be a bystander, check the chat, see how it worked on that side of things. I was just really
Is that what it was?
Yeah, quality control on this side.
Bryant is the IT guy now.
Just keep on trolling.
I am the it guy, yes. So, no, what prop bet were you guys talking about? Sorry, I was kind of a little behind on the video there.
We were just talking highest scoring game, and they've got the Chiefs Bills.
Let's go back to the beginning though. The Titans minus 4.5. Who do you have there?
Titans minus 4.5. I think I had Bengals and say I think the Bengals are going to win that one. I mean, realistically, we always pull up they're a bunch of cheaters. The refs have given them the last 2 wins for the playoff team, But no, I think I don't know. It depends on what Derrick Henry comes out because I don't know. But until someone stops Burrow right now, because they are very. I mean, they're just on fire right now. The Titans needed this bye week to actually get by with. I mean, to get all their injuries, get everyone ready. I don't know. Ryan Tannehill, he's just never come across to me as a good quarterback. I don't know.
Didn't they go to the AFC Championship a couple of years ago against Kansas City though?
I mean, and that was the game they came back from. That was the And from like a football fan standpoint, that was the bullshit of Mahomes that was running to the left, like feigning out of bounds, and then cut right back in. That was
the refs basically gave them the game.
Yeah, I mean that got them the momentum, which essentially gave them the game at that point. And I'll be a biased Chiefs fan and say it was fucking awesome, but it was also bullshit from standpoint of defenders can't do it much at that point. So
all right,
he almost pulled a Kenny Pickett and did a fake slide.
So then tonight, Packers minus 5.5. Who we got?
Packers. I mean, I wouldn't say until someone beats Aaron Rodgers or I'm sorry, who are they playing again? Packers. It's
49ers.
Yeah,
George Kittle.
George Kittle and the Niners. I'm okay with saying George Kittle and the Niners, but no, I think it's Packers. I heard everyone was a participant in the Niners practice this week. So
Bosa and quarterback, what's the name?
Even on a limited basis, Jimmy G was as well.
Yes, there you go. They'll both be playing.
I don't know. I think Packers get by with it. If the Niners win, so be it. It's a new team. Niners were in the Super Bowl 3 years ago. Never mind. So I don't know. I think Packers pull away with it though.
And then Bucks minus 2.5 versus the Rams.
Bucks. That Tom Brady. That one's pretty easy.
Yep. And your homerism is going to say Kansas City by 40.
Yeah. At least. It could be a 50 burger. I don't know. No, I think it is going realistically. It's going to be a close game. I think I put it in the chat like Chiefs, 35. I think they're going to put up points. It's probably going to be another slow start, or I'm hoping so, because it seems like the Chiefs, as long as they can hold them, don't let it avalanche right away, because then they just never come back. If they get down by a touchdown, I don't feel bad, but we can't have the Texans game from about 2 years ago where they're down by 24. Bills have too much offense around that. Houston was.
So even against the number one defense, you think they're going to score 30 plus?
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think they scored 20 on them in Arrowhead week 3 or 5, whenever it was, and that was when we didn't have Chris Jones. We've kind of gotten our offense tweaked a little bit more. I mean, that was, remember, we started this pod because of how historically bad the Chiefs were. That was like one of our first main topics in the NFL, because it went from Super Bowl to what the hell do they even know how to play the game? So I think we've got a lot more parts. I think the Chiefs will pull it out.
What's the Jackson status?
I don't know, man. The sad thing is that's what I'm going to be doing probably Sunday during the first game. When I should just be enjoying football. Is looking at TikTok and finding out is Jackson Mahomes of this game. If I need to change my bet or whatever.
Did we find out who had more TikToks last week? Was it Jackson or was it Juju? Because if it was Juju more than the Jackson Mahomes.
You know what? For as much as big deal as everyone talks about Jackson Mahomes on TikTok, he only does like one a week. I don't know how he makes money or does anything on it. I mean, Juju's got as much time as Jackson now to make his TikToks. So
it's called timing. His timing is not good.
Yeah, timing is just awful.
And his brother?
Yeah, it's great. He's the GOAT.
Right.
But he's better. He's better than Tom Brady already.
Yeah, no.
In like year 6,
until I see him beat Tom Brady. That's the thing is I think he's beaten everyone in the league except for in the postseason. Tom, I can't think off the top of my head if he's beaten him in the regular season.
So here's the annoying thing to me is as much I love Pat McAfee, but as much as with Aaron Rodgers being on there, Aaron Rodgers is the best passer ever. He has one freaking Super Bowl. I'm sorry, but how is he better than Brady, Montana, even Mahomes, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning? How is he better than all of those guys? And he's a hell of a player, fantastic, phenomenal player. It's actually amazing to me that they've had almost 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterback play and have only gotten 2 Super Bowls. That seems very.
So here's a question for you, Ryan, and I think you'll like it because it's a golf reference, but. Do you think like the last 20 years, a lot of these quarterbacks haven't seemed as good as they could be because it's kind of like a Tiger Woods to Phil Mickelson career thing, whereas Tom Brady is winning all these Super Bowls, like Tiger won all those events where Phil doesn't have as many wins because of Tiger. Do all these other quarterbacks not have as many Super Bowls because of Tom Brady?
I think one thing it shows how good. Yeah, I mean, it shows really how truly dominating Brady is. But with quarterbacks, you can still see who's an amazing quarterback. Peyton Manning is without a doubt one of the best to ever play. You'll never doubt that. Aaron Rodgers, you can see his play, his stats, all of that. You run into this one guy once a year and your season gets ended. Whereas with Tiger, you run into him 10, 12 times a year and he just completely demolishes you every time. So I think just because of the quantity, how often Tiger dominated, that's kind of different than football because you've got one chance in the NFL, whereas in golf you have 30 events throughout a year and Tiger just kicks your ass in every single one of them.
Mm-hmm. So that it is kind of the same thing. It's the same thing. You run into Joey's taking a selfie.
Yeah, this close to my face.
Close-up selfie to his eyeball, but he is.
You run into Tom Brady, and every time he's going to kick your ass,
Yeah, but I mean, you can still. I mean, with like Phil won 40 sometimes, I believe, and he's great. With Ernie, like with people like Ernie Els and VJ Singh, they were good, but if Tiger wasn't there, they would have won way more times. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the case for Rodgers or for Breeze or Manning. I mean, maybe for Manning because they were AFC.
They played a lot, yeah.
But how many NFC championships does Rodgers have? Does he have 2? Has he played in 2 Super Bowls or just 1 Super Bowl? He's lost in the NFC Championship. I guess one time was because of Brady, but that's the only one. Mm-hmm. So while Rodgers is a phenomenal quarterback, he's never really. Other than one time, he hasn't gone to the end, whereas it wasn't stopped because of Brady. Whereas Tiger stopped Ernie and VJ and Phil from winning a ton of majors throughout the career. So I mean, it's a fair example, but I think it's just a little bit different.
It looks like Rodgers has only been to that one Super Bowl because every single one of them, it's lost NFC Championship game or the divisional round.
Yeah, and I mean, when they played 49ers 2 years ago, they just got completely demolished. It wasn't even close. Mm-hmm. And so that wasn't at the hands of Brady.
So he's 100% Super Bowls, so he's the GOAT.
That's true. That is true.
Don't get any better than that.
He's Mahomes is only 50% right now, so
sucks.
we need. Do we need to change the discussion of GOAT being Rodgers now at this point?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
You
so
can't
I
be
mean that's the
50%.
only annoying thing because I mean Rodgers is a phenomenal player, but he is no Manning or Brady. I don't know if he's even a Breeze.
Trent, by that same logic, then I was the greatest player on my JV baseball team sophomore year because I batted 1,000 that year. Yes, I went 1-for-1 with a stolen base
Well,
and batted in, all on a broken leg, mind you. This was an injured Bryant.
that just means that you should have been playing a lot more.
Yeah, I was basically Ken Griffey of Webster County, Iowa that year.
I remember that. Were you a sophomore when I was a senior then?
No, I was
Freshman.
I was freshman.
Okay.
No, that was my sophomore year though.
So you peaked in your sophomore year.
Baseball, anyways, and baseball since that's when I peaked.
All right.
That's funny. Sorry, that wasn't nice of me. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh my god.
All right. So did we ever get this game tonight settled? Basically, Bills by 40.
Yeah, I not jokingly. I mean, I almost think Clark's bet is going to be the best one, like Chiefs 35, Bills 31. I think they're going to keep it close and go back and forth. It's really going to depend on, like I said, a lot of the pieces that Chiefs didn't have on week 5, as well as how we've been going together. But then you're looking at the Bills, who have also put together the NFL's first perfect offensive game. So I've been talking myself into that the Bills used all their emotional energy. They've gotten through 20 years of beating up the big brother beating them up. Now they finally destroyed them in the playoffs, and now they have to take if they can take that next step, because now the Chiefs are kind of the team to beat in the AFC. Back-to-back Super Bowls the last 2 years. Then take that next step. Then I mean, if the Bills beat the Chiefs, then they probably go all the way to the Super Bowl. I don't see the other two teams beating them.
Yeah.
What was your bold prediction this weekend?
All unders.
That's right.
Yeah. I went super bold after we were just talking about how we were going to have so much offense this weekend. So I just figured, fuck it, just go all unders.
I remember your joke was the Titans having the most penalties.
Yeah, the Titans having the most penalties to help the Bengals. Yeah. That could be true too. I'll have a second bold pick and have that one in there.
Are there any key injuries for the game tomorrow night?
Are there any what?
Key injuries on either team, Bills or Chiefs?
I can double check here real quick. I haven't heard of any, at least on the Chiefs side. I haven't been actively really looking either.
I mean, it's kind of cool this playoff. We have almost all the teams are fully healthy. Tennessee and Cincinnati are both very healthy. The game tonight, you still have, I'm sure Bosa and Garoppolo are going to have lingering issues, but for the most part, Green Bay's getting a few players back possibly, so it should be the healthiest game Green Bay has all season. And both games tomorrow.
It looks like for the Chiefs game, it's only Clyde Edwards-Helaire is questionable, but he didn't play in the last game either. And no offense, we're by committee anyways. So
the Bucks, I think the Bucks have the worst injury situation going into the game, and I mean it's the Bucks. They're still find a way to win.
Yeah,
and another arrested Chiefs player is playing tonight, so there's
Willie Gay.
He's playing.
He needs to be in prison for life with what he did.
Yeah, breaking a vacuum, property damage under $1,000.
Throw away the key, send them to Aspen, and I don't care where you them.
The Chiefs' biggest injury for the weekend is Jackson Mahomes being in the stadium.
Oh, I think I see he twisted his ankle or something. He couldn't do any TikTok dances.
Brian, did you just say send him to Azkaban?
Yeah.
Did you mean Alcatraz or I know you meant Harry Potter? Okay.
I meant the Harry Potter reference. Don't you worry.
Oh my god.
Well,
that's good stuff.
Well, shoot.
That's why I decided to join the stream. We really needed more Harry Potter references while we were talking NFL weekend here.
I like it.
That's why we keep you around.
It's the only reason we had you on.
It makes sense.
Your ears had to have been burning. We've been talking Chief shit the whole morning. So.
Oh yeah, we've been praising Joe Burrow. We've been talking crap about the Chiefs. I figured at some point you were going to be on.
I missed the first little bit, and then I joined in right as you were starting to talk Bills, I think. So I decided at that point everything. Like I said, I was doing quality control on the other side, so I decided to.
Well, we appreciate it. Somebody has to.
Yeah, well, it really was when you guys were talking about it was two Vikings fans and a Falcons fan talking about how the Bills are going to win. That's why I decided I needed to step in.
So the most unbiased people of the group. You can't have that.
The three people on this podcast whose teams didn't come anywhere close to the playoffs. We needed Bryant.
The three people who had the least experience watching the Chiefs this year, I had to jump in and become the expert here.
Yeah. And the one person that had to jump in is the one that's only seen 2 Cincinnati games and thinks Joe Burrow's the
Exactly. I think we've all seen those 2 Cincinnati games.
I watched a lot of Cincinnati this year, but
they throw a lot of flags then, right?
Oh God.
No. I think we found that they actually have the lowest amount of flags, second lowest amount of flags in the NFL.
They're making up for it at the end here. I said. If I wouldn't say I think the Bengals make it this week, regardless of the refs helping them out or not. It just depends on how much they're going to win by.
Depends on Derrick Henry. I mean, if he,
I don't know too much about the Bengals defense. I mean, if you have a healthy Derrick Henry that can play like he can, I mean, can they even stop him if you've watched him play all year?
I think okay. So a question for each game. Who's your key player for each game? And I can start for the Cincinnati-Tennessee game. The key player for me will be Julio Jones because if he does something good in the playoffs, I think he'll make a huge deal or make a big game for Tennessee to actually get a chance at winning. If Julio's not involved and Brown's not involved, they don't have a chance. Derrick Henry's going to get his, but without the receivers, they're not going to do anything.
I can go off next off that one because I kind of want to piggyback off what you're saying. I think the X factor in this whole game is which Ryan Tannehill shows up. I think the Bengals, they're going to put up their points. Like you said, Derrick Henry's going to get his. And in order for Julio Jones and A.J. Brown and them, in order to get their balls, it's got to come from Tannehill. And also I know the Bengals don't have a very good interior defensive line, so I don't think they're going to be I don't think the Titans will have any problem moving the ball on the ground. But if they get behind 2 or 3 scores and they need to start passing, the exterior, the defensive ends and stuff, if they can get to Tannehill, if he can't get out of the pocket or move around like he normally does, it could be a long game for the Titans. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tannehill as my X factor.
So go ahead, Trent. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say Derrick Henry because with him being back and him being healthy, him being rested, all this, if the Titans try to ride him and he is not effective and they just keep trying to run the ball, I think he's going to be that factor. I think he has to have a good game. If they keep trying to ride him and he doesn't, then there's no offense.
I wanted to be creative and try and think of a fourth person, but I think it's got to be Tannehill. I'm just looking at his stats right now, and I mean, nothing spectacular. 3,700 yards, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. So I don't know. I'm going through. I mean, Derrick Henry still is the highest rusher on the team by almost 400 yards, and he hasn't played in 8 weeks or so. And then looking at their receivers, A.J. Brown has 870 yards, which isn't bad. But then the next drop off is 470 for Westbrook and then 430 for Jones. So, I mean, they got to create something, get some pressure off of Derrick Henry because he's going to get his yards. But if you can throw the ball over the top of the defense and get them to not stack the box as well, I mean, they can at least make it a game. I don't know if I've ever seen a 1 seed that's been so doubted, at least by us. I think they're the favorite. Aren't they the favorites by how much?
Yeah, it's not by much. I think it's 1.5.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're technically the favorites, but I don't know if anyone other than Titans fans believe in them by 4 points.
Yeah, 4.
So, I don't know. I think you've just seen the last few weeks of Joe Burrow, 500 yards, 400 yards, and until you see something that the Titans are going to do that's up to that level, I don't think anyone's going to believe in them until they see the final scoreboard where they're up ahead.
Cincinnati just has a different energy to them.
Mm-hmm. Nope, they have all the momentum, whereas the Titans, they didn't quite limp into it, but I mean, they kind of struggled to get that 1 seed at the end and hold off, God, who was it? The Texans? Week 17.
They did it without Henry, though. I mean, when they lost Henry, I think everyone thought they were dead, but boy, did they hang on.
But first week coming off of an injury too as a running back as well. So
yeah, and actually they were still, I believe, tops in the NFL in rushing after Henry left. They just did it by committee instead. It's just how their offense is. I mean, so they really didn't miss a beat without Henry. I just don't think they had the explosive playmakers that they do with Derrick Henry being out there.
They had Adrian Peterson for a couple of games. How more explosive can you ask for?
Prime AP is maybe
flip
my
a switch
favorite
like anyone.
Yeah.
Was that this year or was that last year?
This year.
That was this year.
This year.
Jesus, how long has the season been, dude? I thought that was last year or was that last year where he was going like to the Saints and Cardinals and shit?
No, that was a few years. Last year he was with Washington, I think, most of the year.
That is it.
Mm. It is the longest season of all time, Bryant. So you are correct.
That one extra game.
Yeah, it still went
tricked him up.
All right, so the game tonight, I'm gonna go with AJ Dillon being the key player. It's gonna be a cold, snowy game. AJ Dillon's just a big bruiser. He'll run through anybody. If he has a good running game, I think the Packers are gonna be tough to beat if AJ Dillon's really going through.
Nice. I am going to pick someone that's not a player. I think it comes down to Kyle Shanahan and how his offense can move the ball against the Packers. They've got a lot of versatility. They don't really have a full identity. And I think being a Falcons fan and seeing Shanahan do his thing down there for a while, they can be kind of gimmicky. Whether that works in the cold or not, we'll see. Hopefully, I hope it does anyway, and I hope that he can get, especially my man Kittle, involved. But I think
look at his box. Don't worry.
Exactly. As long as they're downfield and Deebo Samuel's going in the end zone, that's all I really care about. I'll count those as towards his 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, I'm going to go Kyle Shanahan.
I'm going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mentioned it earlier that he hasn't won a game above or below 32 degrees. It's going to be 12 degrees at kickoff. He was a full participant in practice, but he's been banged up, shoulder, thumb, everything he's got going on. So without him, I don't think the 49ers will be able to do much, even though I have the Packers, but picked on this one. So
yeah, I would say probably the biggest one is going to be Bosa, depending on how he comes off of that injury. If he can cause pressure on Rodgers, and at least throw him off of his rhythm, because Rodgers so mechanical with his throwing, and he, like we said with the Titans, he's going to get his. So if he can cause any pressure on that end of it, maybe it causes them to have to rely on the run a little bit more, and he'd rather get beat, I think, by AJ Dillon than Aaron Rodgers, who can just throw all over you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyone want to lead off the Rams and the Bucks?
Sure.
The last two. So.
I mean, unless one of the other two want to.
Go ahead, Joey.
Okay. The Rams. It's Rams or Bucks. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's going to be Staph infections time. He needs to lead that team. Needs to show, he was the highest paid quarterback in the league for a while, especially I think he still has the rookie record. Needs to show that, he was brought in there for a reason and this team can succeed with him. So hopefully he just builds off of last week because I picked the Rams to win. But also I just think that if he wants to go down as being a great quarterback in this era, even though he was on the Lions, I think he needs to show up and show out today.
I'm going with the same as Joey. It's got to be Stafford. I mean, never with the Lions, he never really made it to the playoffs. Never won a playoff game until last week. So is he gonna, continue that and show that he can win playoff games? I know they were they the 2 seed that play? See, they played Arizona. Yeah. So, I mean, they played Arizona. They've got a bigger, tougher task today. So I think it has to be Stafford.
Yeah, I'm going to be boring. Sorry. I was just looking at it as well because again, Tom Brady, you know what he's going to do. I think we honestly all know that Cooper Kupp's going to do his thing, even if Stafford doesn't have a good game. Kupp's going to make what he needs to do. It's all on Stafford. Like you said, he got his first win underneath his belt. Now he needs to go out and prove that wasn't a fluke, and try and prove something versus Brady and the Bucks. But I think that's a pretty tall task.
For me, I mean, you guys are going with Stafford. Kupp. I think Arians is going to find a way to keep Kupp guarded. He's going to get his, but I don't think it's going to be as much as what he typically would. I'm going to go with OBJ. If Stafford's going to have a good game, Kupp will get his, but they need to find other ways to get there. And I think OBJ will have to have a big game for.
Hopefully, OBJ can have that career-defining catch today.
He's going to be a very good number 2 receiver.
He had a good game last week. I think if the Rams want any chance of winning this game, they're going to have to find a different way to score other than just Kupp.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to run and get another beer, so I'm going to turn my camera off like Joey. So I'll be back.
You don't need to just wear pants. You wouldn't have to do that if you had pants on.
All right, I got pants on. I'm going to get a beer too.
Fine. I guess if we're just leaving with our cameras.
Yeah, we're all just going to leave our lives just staring at our walls, hold up our watch time.
All right, we're going to carry this, Bryant. We're going to carry you and I. Bill.
We usually do on this pod. So.
It's usually us two. That's
Jesus Christ. I stuffed my headphones in.
Okay, so with the Bills and the Chiefs, for me, a key player is going to be Kelsey. If he's involved, I mean, Tyreek Hill, he'll get his too. He's fast. He outruns everybody. It's kind of a tie for me actually for both teams, either Kelsey or Diggs. If either one of those guys have a big game for each team, that team's going to win.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Diggs absolutely terrifies me because for some reason, I don't know what it is about the Chiefs. It just seems like they usually let one guy just go off, and if you're going to let Diggs go off, then you're SOL. So they need to contain him. I kind of agree. I think Kelsey's kind of the big factor. We could joke about Jackson Mahomes being the biggest factor of the game, non-player, but I agree. I think it's going to be Kelsey because if he doesn't get going, excuse me, and open up anything on the inside. I mean, we've won plenty of games where Tyreek Hill is basically just taking his double coverage or running his sprints down the sideline. He has one catch for 18 yards, but they have to respect him and cover him and open up stuff on the inside.
So, question here: which outside force has a bigger involvement, God or Jackson Mahomes' presence?
God.
We talked about this earlier. I don't think you were here, Brian, but with Diggs sitting there watching Kansas City celebrate, he's gonna want to have that huge game and get.
He just wanted to get some practice so he could perfect that same stance this year.
He wants to. This time he'll be posing.
Yeah, he'll have his arms on his sides again. The one tear going down his face.
Trent, you're getting called out in the comments, bud.
Yeah, no. Still a Vikings fan. Still a Vikings fan. I living in 2 hours from Kansas City for 10 years. I went to some Chiefs games, and they never played the Vikings, so I had to cheer for the Chiefs while I was there. So they are my AFC team.
It's a good AFC team to have, my friend.
I mean, I guess you could call me a bandwagon. Actually, I liked them before they got good. They still had Alex Smith, and so
Trent was really into the checkdowns that we had with Alex Smith. So
yeah, I mean, I like it when no receivers score touchdowns in a season.
Yeah,
Joe,
what a terrible year that was. I think we still had Dwayne Bowe on the team too, and we were overpaying him. And just how do you go in a modern NFL season and have no receivers catch a touchdown? That's just unbelievable.
It was the same year that Iowa did that in college. Yep, it was awesome.
Iowa does that like once every other year, though, so you're gonna have to specify.
Well, they've only done it once for a whole season, but yeah, it's about. They'll do 5-6 game stretches where they don't do shit with receivers.
When is Iowa going to get a big alumni to just donate like $500,000 and just pay a 5-star wide receiver to come to the school
They have
And-
Ashton Kutcher. He can't lure
Yes.
somebody in.
Yes.
Jesus.
He can call
Well,
them
every
Kuchar's
time-
catchers.
oh, God.
How about that? And he just brings in all these wide receivers with his Hollywood money.
I think this funny thing is I think most people don't respect just truly how smart Ashton is. So not a bad idea. I think he's got a huge stake in Lenovo now and helps with designing their stuff.
Wasn't he big on Venmo early on too?
Yeah, like he's actually a really smart guy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't ever guess it, but he's good.
I wouldn't guess it because he wears black and gold on Saturdays. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Between his role on that 70s show and wearing Iowa stuff, you'd think he was the biggest moron on the planet.
You know
All
what's
right,
even
my X factor for the Chiefs game is Josh Allen. I think he needs to have a huge game. Everything, it's kind of like my Ryan Tannehill rant, but I think everything lives and dies with Josh Allen, and I think he's got the talent to take it to the Chiefs. We'll see. If I was going to pick another one, it would have been Tyrann Mathieu. If he can hold down that secondary, we'll see how that happens. I know the Bills are just super loaded, but if Allen's on, they're going to win. If he's not, it's going to be a long day for Buffalo for me.
Another one I'd probably say is just Frank Clark, just briefly. I mean, because we always know Chris Jones is going to get the attention here, but he kind of picked it up at the end of the season when they're really starting to dominate on defense there. So if Frank Clark can at least get a sack or two, and you have to double Jones, and now if you start thinking about Frank Clark, that could really cause trouble for the Bills, especially if Josh Allen's going to try and take that next step. Like we said, he got past the Patriots now. He's beaten up Big Brother, and now the Bills are kind of the team in the AFC East. Now he needs to take the next step with, if he wants to be taken seriously, can he make some noise in Arrowhead?
So I went to get another beer. Who's Josh Allen? Who'd Bryant have?
No, you can say Frank Clark. I kind of forgot who I initially said.
Did Ryan? Who did you say, or did you go?
I had either Kelsey or Diggs.
And they both agree.
I had one for both sides there.
Yeah, I jumped in with Kelsey. So you can just say mine's Frank Clark because Brian already touched on it.
Okay, so mine is going to be Tyreek Hill. Where has he been? Like, he hasn't had a big game. Yeah, he hasn't had a big game in over a month. I mean, I know the Chiefs have Kelsey and other weapons, but I think Tyreek Hill needs to have a big game, show his presence here.
Yeah, for him being a number one receiver and getting paid, he needs to step it up.
Yeah,
I agree with
his
that.
last 4 games, his yards have been 57, 2, 40, and 19.
Yeah, I think he just had 18 in that last game, didn't he? Or was that the last game?
He had 57.
57
versus Pittsburgh. He had 2 versus Denver. But the game before that, he had 148. But still, he needs to step it up.
Yeah, and we talked about it just briefly. I mean, like if everyone's going to double, Hill, you can't have the fastest number one wide receiver or our fastest receiver. You can't have him beat you. So I don't know if they're just focusing on him and then he's trying to get the ball more over to Kelsey, or like you said, maybe he's just slumping. But I agree. Tyreek, we've been paying him all this money all year, and he's only at 1,200 yards. Kelsey's at 1,100 right now. So I don't know. I just hope every one of them has a touchdown, obviously.
Greatest tight end in the league, baby.
Greatest tight end in the league, exactly.
Irv Smith Jr. for the Vikings.
Catches touchdowns, throws touchdowns, Kelsey for life.
So I want to bring up this. We talked about the subject on the podcast too. And shoot, we've been doing this for over an hour, so we can probably finish whenever. But
mine says only 52 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My computer doesn't know how to tell time then.
Well, you're West River. You're behind.
Yeah.
Trent, I think you got stuck in a 16-minute time vortex because I have an hour and 8 minutes on mine.
Same here.
So we talked about distractions for the teams, and I'm looking at the Vikings who they've recently completed interviews with, and we talked about this. But I mean, this was last night. They completed an interview with OC for the Rams, Kevin O'Connell, DC for the Rams, Raheem Morris, and that was within 2 hours' time. 3 hours prior to Raheem, it was Todd Bowles they interviewed. So they had 3 playoff coaches right there that are playing on Sunday. and I know they had more too, I believe.
So their GM interviews are lasting like 2 hours.
The head coach interviews.
I've had longer interviews for nuclear medicine positions.
Wow.
Come on, Minnesota. What are we doing here?
So you have 3 coaches that are coaching on Sunday, 3 coordinators. Does that cause a distraction? I mean, you've got both the coordinators for the Rams that are going head to head for this head coaching position, and then the DC for. I understand it's only 2 hours, but your mind, I have a feeling that your mind can't be all in on one if you're doing this on the side.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think for a team like the Bucks, I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue because again, your X factor is going to be Tom Brady, and until you see him getting beat, he's always going to have a chance in that game. But having the Rams, and I know Sean McVay's kind of running that ship, but if you have both your coordinators interviewing, that's kind of where I don't know why they don't make a rule just interview after, like you can't hold interviews until after the season, but.
The Vikings interviewed both Quinn and Kellen Moore after their loss. So I mean, I don't know if Dallas forced them to wait till after the season was over. That would make sense.
Yeah.
And if it's somebody that the organization really wants, they'll wait for them. But I don't know. Because I just remember as a Vikings fan having Shermer interview for the head coach position and then just lay an absolute egg in the NFC Championship.
Looked good. Start the game 7-0, and then would lose by 35.
We always look good with scripted plays. It doesn't matter what season it is, but after you get off script, then you're in trouble.
The defensive coordinator coach doesn't know what the hell to do on offense after that script is up.
Yeah.
So, Joey, did you go grab another dinosaur beer? Are you drinking something different?
Nope, King Sue doing the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, I need to switch to some clear liquor after this, probably. That's another reason
you're not going to make the fights tonight, huh?
Yeah, I just got to control myself. It'll be okay.
I'm sorry. I mean, you were drinking energy drinks to start this thing, and I peer pressured you into drinking beer.
Oh no, I wanted to start drinking, but I knew I had to watch UFC tonight, and I just tested positive for COVID last week, so.
Joey, you folded that quick to peer pressure. He just said one time, go grab a beer, and you did it. Oh, come on, man. Yeah.
I mean, class of 2006 dare role model right here.
Shame. I looked up to you until that moment.
Until that moment, I like.
Yeah, until that moment where you just gave in and drank that one beer.
Well, it started with UV Blue and Mountain Dew.
Brian loves UV Blue.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I've had that since my freshman year of college. So,
how many carbs are in UV Blue? I might have to get some. 16.
Can't do that. Quality content.
Joey, another quality is our quality liquor is if you get Hawkeye vodka, a handle of it, you pop the top and then you just put Jolly Ranchers in there. It tastes really good. Better than UV Blue.
Really?
That's a Zima thing.
Heard that before.
Yeah.
Get your Zima and you put your Jolly Ranchers in there, or Skittles, or whatever the hell it is.
Nope, I'm just gonna go get some Barkeep $10 a handle at the gas station up the road here. So that's my plan for the day.
Drink straight gasoline. It tastes better.
So it's actually not real harsh, and it's really good to mix with. I mean, that's why they have it so cheap. So it's not like Hawkeye where it's just going to bite your throat the whole way down. So
I don't think I've ever had Hawkeye vodka.
And you were raised in Iowa? And you were friends with me? That's impossible.
Yeah.
You had to have had it.
Well, maybe
we unknowingly had some.
Ugh. I've never had it. Now I've ever called Cyclone vodka, maybe.
Isn't that 360 vodka made in Ames and distilled there?
I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
Okay. Maybe not.
What about the Grey Goose, the Duck Grey Goose, or Duck Goose vodka by Chad Greenway?
Duck Grey Duck. Is that what it's called?
Duck Grey Duck. That's right. By Chad Greenway.
Is that? I mean, he's from South Dakota, so
Mount Vernon, yeah. But he went across the border and played for a crappy school, college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have stayed at home
Just because
But
Bryant's on
Jags.
doesn't mean you gotta
Come on.
start shit
I
talking
agree.
someone
Come on,
else.
come on, Joey. If you're gonna, be all Joe
know
Burrow,
we're-
someone has to go after Iowa too.
Yeah.
So
I don't
grade,
yell at Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow.
No, exactly. If you're
No,
gonna,
just next pod we can just go anti-Vikings at this point. How about that?
Yeah, no shit.
I'll join you. I will join you.
Yeah, they're gonna bandwagon with this shit.
Like you think I'm not gonna talk crap against my team? Nope. I'll be the first one there.
I don't know if you guys ever used to listen or like read Deadspin. They're kind of shitty now, in my opinion. But they used to. The best article they used to do was like 5 years ago when I was reading them. They used to do why your team sucks,
Yep.
and it would have fan posted like all of the hate that you've had throughout the years. Like if it was the Vikings, it was the 15-1 missing the kick year, and fuck this. And for like the Chiefs, it would be the year where they didn't have a wide receiver catch a football. That was the best article they ever did. I read that every
So
single
funny.
day for all
So
32
funny.
teams on just like, okay, good. Every fan base experiences this deep dread, like when the Chiefs were 2-14 and we draft a MAC lineman, and at the time I thought sucked. So
They've become way too political on their stuff.
yeah,
I know.
No,
I know.
it
I
is.
read it. I read it this last year. And most of it was politics. And I'm just like, I don't want this garbage in my sports. Just tell me why the Vikings suck. Don't make it political.
yes.
And yeah. I'm not gonna go against talking crap against the Vikings because they deserve it.
Mhm.
Absolutely. A scorned fan knows every little intricate thing that they've ever done bad, more than any rival could.
I have lived through Anderson making every single field goal and missing it in the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. I have lived through the Bounty Gate taking out Brett Favre, and I mean it's Adrian Peterson fumbling 2 times in the game, and really that was why we lost it. Blair Walsh missing a 15-yard chip shot. I mean, I've seen it all. There's nothing that you're gonna say to me that I'm gonna be like, oh no, you can't say that.
I forgot about the Blair Walsh one. That one was brutal. That was seriously. It was just like, I mean, maybe a junior high kicker misses that, but how is a professional athlete? You've gone through high school, college, a few years in the league, and you're missing a chip shot like that.
That was a 17-yard field goal. The ball was on the 5-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
It was stupid.
That was terrible.
Walsh
sorry,
said,
you can't say anything bad. The Vikings fans were numb. Okay,
We're so numb.
We're numb at this point.
Yeah. Like we feel it. We know.
See, we're all one and the same. Being a Hawkeye fan and a Falcons fan is the exact same.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're trying to tell us we need Dan Quinn to be our head coach for the Vikings, and no.
Hey, Dan Quinn is good. The front office with fucking Scott Pioli and shit that we got from the Chiefs. God, that just ruined the franchise once they got rid of Kyle Shanahan and hired Sarkisian. And
we gave you Tony Gonzalez. You're welcome.
I mean, you didn't get much in return, so yeah, basically.
I think we got like a 2nd-round pick. That might have been like, it was just one of those like, you've done so good for us. Best of luck. Go to a title contender.
Did you guys see the picture of the 2013 Washington coaching staff?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
LaFleur, Shanahan, and McVay all on the same team.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And then the Washington team you can't even say their old name and not even in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're just.
Thank you for being politically correct, Bryant.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, just we've talked about the pain that our team. I mean, their literal own field is destroying half of their great players with RG3, terrible field, terrible management,
and their stadium's trying to destroy Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm. Can't even name change. Can't even injure your enemies, correctly. They didn't hurt Jalen Hurts. Terrible all around.
Just be thankful we're not football team fans.
Yep.
True.
When are they coming out with their aren't they going to release their new name?
Next
Groundhog's Day, I thought.
Groundhog's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's been leaked that it's going to be the Commodores or the Commanders.
Yeah. And that was the worst one of all the names too.
What were the other
Maybe
ones? I didn't see any of them.
Maybe the Senators were, but
I think they had like the Red Hogs, Presidents.
Red Wolves.
Yeah.
Like the Red Hogs.
Yeah, didn't they say groundhogs as well?
Yep.
Which I could have cheered for the groundhogs. Also.
Yeah, I would have fucked with the groundhogs. That's for sure.
So, well, does anybody have anything else before we sign off on here?
Well, I don't know if anyone wants to talk a little UFC. That's also going on tonight. I don't know who's all going to watch it. We did a whole podcast on it, but if Trent and Ryan wanted to get some information or anything.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about it, but maybe I will. Or maybe I'll get the stream and maybe I'll watch it with you.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a huge heavyweight fight with Ngannou versus Gain, or Gone, I guess his name is. But yeah, it's I would watch it just for that if I was a casual. If you like big knockouts, it's either going to be a big knockout or a point match. There's no in between. So
if there's not a big knockout, I'll be disappointed in you then.
World's strongest puncher is fighting in the main event.
Ngannou, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. All right, well.
Yeah, maybe.
Run our test.
No.
Yeah, who punches harder, Ngannou or Ron Artest when he gets a water bottle thrown at him from the stands?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be pretty even at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, we don't need to do anything else. Anyone else got anything, or you want me to close it?
No, we're good. Then. Just make sure you cheer on for the Chiefs this Saturday or this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to anyone that tuned into this, and I'm sure we'll probably be doing more in the future.
Yeah, once we figure out an easier way to do this, so it doesn't take us an hour to figure out. We'll be on it.
Yeah. And it's a good thing that like on Tuesday nights and we record, we don't do this because it would see me during like the movie minute, like napping.
Just this is Trent the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe if you cultured yourself and actually watched movies, you'd be fine.
Is anyone gonna like tweet along with the games tonight?
I would live tweet.
I assume Joey was going to do UFC, but
yeah, I'll live tweet UFC.
I would say I don't know if I want to subject our fans to the Chiefs pandemonium like we did last week. I might tone it down just a little bit.
Well, actually, I enjoyed that because I was at volleyball, so in between sets, I would come and see what you had to say.
You'd see that was enjoyable. Tweets going off about every drive and shit.
Yeah, I enjoyed that
a little bit during the Cowboys game. There's the slime game. I did a little bit on that.
I don't think we need to hear your thoughts on Joe Burrow for the first game, so somebody else can tweet that one.
Fraud. That's all. It would just say that for 3 straight hours.
Shove a cigar up his butt. Damn it.
Yeah. Now, I have a real question. When he eventually loses in the playoffs, is he still going to smoke a cigar after the game, though? Because he's an avid smoker.
Yeah. He's got a problem.
Promoting negative things to the youth of America.
Someone needs to have an intervention with him.
He is not a dare role model right now.
I was going to say Bryant is still embracing the dare role model role here.
Hey, I won that too. You won that, Bryant?
No, Joey was our dare role model.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to give a speech and everything at our presentation. Boy, was I!
And
that's stay away from drugs. Drink Zoa.
Drink energy drinks. They're like the cigarettes of 2022.
Don't even get me started on that. Every morning I'm just like, I just need a Venom energy drink. That's about it.
That was me in college. I think my family did have an intervention with me on that. They're just like, you shouldn't be drinking as many Nosses as you are, and like, don't mind your business, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Casey's that were by Ryan and my apartment on the way to Southeast Tech, they got a lot of business and $1 Venoms on the way to class.
It's how am I going to get through pathophysiology? Am I going to drink a Venom, or am I going to smoke a lot and drink a lot to try to get my sorrow gone? Venom sounds like a lot better alternative.
Yeah, heart palpitations seem okay.
Yeah. I think I needed more energy drinks when I was younger, because when I was going to my 8 a.m. business statistics class at Iowa State, that was probably the most boring class I've ever dealt with in my entire life, and I was falling asleep in class. just terrible. So I needed Venom more in my life. We had the opposite problem.
So you can do that when you go to university and you have 400 people in your class. You can't do that when there's 20 of us.
that was
Ryan and I.
That was one thing when I was doing college tours. I remember my mom wanted me to go to a smaller school, and when we were going there, the professor was talking to us, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's really small, intimate classes. So if you ever miss a class, we'll if I notice you miss a couple classes, we'll email your son or daughter and figure out what's going on." I go, "Nope, not for me. I don't need a parent at college." It was just terrible.
The problem for us in college was Trent and I living together, and us having big personalities in class with our teacher. And so if there were days we looked a little tired, the teacher would be like, "Yeah, we are pretty sure we know what went on last night."
They knew.
Trent, your head needs to be off the desk. Come on.
Oh shit.
Oh, college. Those were fun days.
No, I think we'll definitely have to. I mean, we'll have to do this next week for the game as well. But this is really fun. I'm sorry I only joined halfway through. Honestly, I didn't feel like with me looking like shit, I'd want to join in. But I guess
you look fabulous, Brian.
Yeah, I took a shower because my hair was all matted down, and I just gotten back from Deadwood, so I just look like a gambling addict.
This is just the natural grease of my hair, just slicking it down. So.
Brian, are you going to be down here next weekend?
Such a bad condition, they can't tell it. So
nice. Are you going to be down here next weekend?
Yeah, I should be.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe we can jump on it together.
We can sit side by side on that same chair there, Joey. But I don't think it'll hold us.
No.
Wow.
Hey, I have an
nobody asked Ryan and I if we're coming down, but hey, here we are.
I'm not.
If you want to come celebrate my nephew's birthdays, you can.
I think I'm actually on the gallery.
Are you?
I think so.
When I was up in Deadwood, I put in a 8-game college basketball parlay.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yep. I got Boston University at -400, Oakland Golden Grizzlies at -425, Loyola Maryland -550. I don't know, Brown Bears at -525, Colorado State at -700, Davidson at -625, Towson at -550, and the VCU Rams at -750.
So you just took the biggest favorites.
But you get that for $5. I get a payout of $20. So hey, making money if it works. So.
That's a shitty thing though. Is like in college basketball, those heavy favorites tend to lose. A decent chunk of the time. But
there's always one,
my friend.
There's always one because I would do that for college football. And there was one game, I think Arizona was like -750, and they ended up losing that game.
Yep.
And I won every other leg of it, but freaking Arizona.
That's what you get for betting on the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's almost like a guarantee when you're betting those big parlays. Like you have to have one underdog or one questionable one, because otherwise you have that many favorites, just something bound to happen.
Yeah, but I figured why not, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you only live once. Bet the heavy favorites.
Yep. All right, boys. All right. You guys ready to call it a day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.